I want to talk briefly about the angle addition and segment addition postulates. Basically, and don't make these out to be more difficult than they are, basically they just say that you can add segment lengths, and these are line segments. You can add segment lengths, and you can add angle measures. And they add just like regular numbers would. So let's look at some examples here of the segment addition postulate. Okay? And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see the problems better. Okay. So looking at this problem, we're interested in where the question mark is, of course. So we're interested in this length right here from H to G. But we know that the entire length, notice down here, the entire length from H to F is 10. And this little tiny piece right here is a 1. And so what is, if this bit here plus the 1 has to equal 10, so the question mark that we want plus 1 equals 10, then the question mark has to equal 9. Everybody see that? So this part here, this HG is 9. Okay? That's what the segment addition postulate tells you. Same thing here. If this entire thing is 13, from R to T is 13, but then this little tiny bit right there is a 1, then what's here for the question mark? It just has to be 12. It's what's left over. Here, the numbers become a little bit more complicated, but the process is the same. The entire thing is 32. All the way from T to V is 32. And we know that 20 accounts for this much. So then what is left over is 32 minus 20, right, which is 12. So this has to be 12 right there, because 12 plus 20 equals the whole thing, 32. Alright, so a little bit more interesting scenario would be like this. If the entire thing is 26, and then this part is 9, and this part is 11, and we want to find KL. Well, the entire thing is 26. If we subtract the 9 and subtract the 11, we're going to get KL. Right? We're going to get this part that's left over right here. And so, let's see, 26 minus 9 is going to give me 17. And if I subtract the 11, I'm going to get 6. Okay? Here, HJ, I want to find HJ, which is from here to here. Notice these are just getting a little bit more complicated each time, but it's the same thing. So I want to find HJ, okay? And I know that this bit is 12 and this bit is 2. From G to H is 2. So what can I find out here? Well, if G to I is 7 and that is 2, then what do I have left over? Well, that means this right here from H to I has to be 5. And then if I'm interested in H to J, then I'm interested in 5 plus 12. So 5 plus 12 is 17. Okay? 17. You really just have to look at these on a case-by-case basis and figure out what the best way to solve them is. Okay? So here we want to find EC. So EC is this whole thing right there, from E to C. I already know 16, so I need to just figure out what this bit right here is, because then I can just add 16 to it and I'll have the answer. Okay, so if this entire thing is 49 and then this coming back is 30, then what do I know has to be this part right here, the part that I'm interested in? Well, that has to be 19. So if this is 19, then the EC that I want is 19 plus 16. And so that is going to be 35. Okay? Okay. So let's move on to some more complicated examples here. I think you're getting the answer, getting the hang of this. Let's look at this one up here. Okay? Let's look at this one right here. So I want to solve for x, and x is involved in this piece and this piece. And I know that this piece plus 9 plus this piece, the whole thing is 23. So really, all I need to do is just set up an equation, right? I just need to set up 23 is the whole thing, and that equals x minus 6 plus 9 plus 2x minus 19. And really, I should have parentheses here, but they're not going to do anything. So I just have this piece plus this piece plus this piece, and I have that and that and that, my three things. So this is x minus 6 plus 9 plus 2x minus 19. So if I'm combining the x and the 2x, I'll have 3x. I have a negative 6 plus 9 gives me a positive 3. Minus 19 gives me a minus 16. And so all that still equals 23. Okay? So then if I add, I'm running out of some space here, if I add 16 to both sides, then 3x is going to equal 39. And if I divide by 3, then x equals 13. And that's the right answer. Okay. So now that we did some segment addition, we're going to try angle addition. So looking at this example, we want to find the measure of JKL. So we want to find JKL. We want to find JKL. We want to find that angle right there. If SKL is 31, and so SKL, this little piece right here is 31 degrees. Okay? And JKS, so JKS, this little bit is 52. And so since the two of these together are the same as the whole angle that we want, the JKL that we want, we can just add them together. And so we can say that measure of angle JKL is 31 plus 52. And so if we add those together, we get 83, and we are happy. Okay? Let's do something like this one. Let's do this one. Find the measure of IJA. So I want to find IJA. That's what I want to find, IJA, if AJK, so if AJK, so this whole angle right there, is 61, and IJK, so this whole thing here, IJK is 153. Okay? And so the whole thing of 153 is going to be the 61 plus the measure of IJA that we want. Because it's going to be the red plus 61 equals the whole thing. Okay? So if we subtract 61, we're going to get that the measure of angle IJA is 153 minus 61. So that's going to put me at 90. My brain is just freezing right now. Minus 61. 92. Right. Good. 92. Okay. Find KLU. So we want to find KLU. That's what we want to find. Find KLU if ULM, so if this little tiny little angle right here if this is 20 and KLM, so the whole thing, going all the way out here on the outside, KLM is 110. Okay, so 110 is the same as this 20 plus the red angle that we want. So 110 equals 20 plus the measure of angle KLU that we want. So if we subtract 20 from both sides, we quickly get an answer of 90. Okay. A couple more complicated examples with variables involved. So find HIW. So I want to find HIW right there. Find HIW if Wij, so if Wij right here is 10x. Okay. Hij is 145. Hij is 145. And HIW is 2x plus 13. So the one that we want is also 2x plus 13. So notice that here we're going to have to solve for x, right? We're going to have to solve for x and then plug x back into that expression to find the answer that we want, because we want that angle. We don't want to find what x is. So 145 is the same as, so 145 is the same as the 10x plus 2x plus 13. Right? See what I did there? I'm just adding these, I'm adding the red angle and the green angle together, and I get the blue angle. So here's the blue angle, right? Here's the red angle, and here's the green angle, right there. That's all I'm doing. So I'm just doing some combining here, so I get the 13 over to the other side, and I get a 132 equals 12x dividing by 12, and I believe that is 11, right? Dividing by 12, and I get 132 divided by 12. I should know this. I think it's 11. Yeah, it's 11. So there's 11. My answer. Great. Okay. Okay. So here we're told that measure of ZHG, so ZHG is 11x minus 1. So this is 11x minus 1 right there. Okay. And IHZ, which is IHZ right there, is 24. Okay. And IHG, which is what we're going to want to find IHG. IHG, which is this whole thing that goes out here, IHG, is 12x plus 13. So if the whole red angle is the sum of the blue and the green angles here, then 12x plus 13 is the sum of the 24 plus the 11x minus 1. Okay, and so I can combine, I can subtract 11x, and I can subtract 13. So these go away, these go away. So 12x minus 11x just leaves me with x on this side, and 24 minus 1 is 23, and then we're subtracting 10, or excuse me, 24 minus 1 is 23, minus 13 is 10, and there's my answer. Okay. I did this again. This is just x. I want to find, notice what I did here. I just found x in both of these problems. Here's the problem with that. I'm trying to find the entire angle measure. Okay, I'm trying to find the entire angle measure, not just a value of x. So what I need to do at this point is I need to go back in and I need to plug in 2x plus 13, but I need to plug in where x equals 11. So this is 2 times 11 plus 13. So this is 22 plus 13, which is going to be 35, which is correct, 35 degrees. And here I'm trying to find 12x plus 13, but x is 10. So that's 120 plus 13 is 132 degrees, which is correct.